Hello, everybody, and welcome to our brand new webinar on Parrots. In the last years, we started to do not deal only with certification of products, and we decided to develop some conservation and awareness projects. As you can see in this slide, we have some projects for Friend of the Sea, so more related, of course, to the sea and the ocean, and some for Friend of the Earth. For example, the one about butterflies, the one about primates, bats, and of course, the one about parrots, Save the Parrots. So if you want to know more about all these projects, you can simply go on our website and look for the conservation projects, and you will find all the information you're looking for. Or otherwise, you can always write us, and we will be glad to answer to all your doubts and questions. So let's talk about parrots. I will lost the first part. I will just talk about quickly about the biology, ecology, threats, and conservation initiatives on bats, and then I will pass the microphone to Lorenzo, and he will focus on other subjects. So, parrots belongs to an order that is called Psittaciformes. In this group, there are three suborders: Psittacoidea, known as the true parrots, I Cacatuoidea, and the Strigopoidea. I guess, and I hope everybody of you have seen in her life a parrot. That is a bird, of course. What are the general characteristics of the parrots? They have a strong curved beak, and upright stance, long legs, and clothed zygodactyl feet. Most have bright colors, and some are multicolored, as you can see on the pictures on the right. They form the most variable sized bird order in terms of length, and they are the only creatures that display true tripedalism, using their necks and beaks as limbs with propulsive forces. Some information about their ecology. The usual diet is seeds, nuts, fruits, and buds. And of course, they use their beak in order to feed on this food. A few species sometimes eat animals and carrion, while the lories and lorikeets are specialized for feeding on floral nectar and soft fruits. Parrots have generally pantropical distribution. What does it mean, pantropical? That are present in the both tropical areas of our planet, with several species inhabiting temperate regions in the southern hemisphere. For example, it's not unusual in Italy, in the south of Italy, to see in Sicily some parrots flying in the cities. That is quite strange, but it happens. Almost all parrots nest in tree hollows or next to boxes in captivity, and lay eggs. So there are 421 species of parrots, and 27% of these species are in danger of extinction to a greater or lesser extent. And then we will see what are the main threats to parrots. 3.8% is already extinct in nature. The Spix macaw is a species that is already extinct in the wild, but is still alive in some rescue center. There is a project in which they are trying to reintroduce it to the wild. And for the persons that have watched the movie Rio, this movie is based on this species, as you can see in below on the right in the picture. What are the threats? Intentional targeting, such as hunting, trapping, and trading, is a major threat to parrot species globally. Then, as often happens, habitat degradation due to agricultural practices is the next major concern. And let me say that In this sense, Friend of the Earth is trying to do its best in order to protect vulnerable habitat and therefore protect the habitat of the parrots from intensive agriculture and so on. In addition, pollution and natural calamities are disrupting their natural habitats as well as having unbearable consequences of their food sources, of course. Industrialization and urbanization are also contributed toward habitat shifting. So, as usual, and I'm not happy to say this, most of the threats are due to humans. So, since it's due to humans' activity, we can do something in order to preserve the parrots populations. How we can protect parrots through different conservation initiatives. For example, habitat restoration is something similar to the marine protected areas. You protect a particular habitat where they live, and you increase the chance of survival of these parrots. Control invasive species that can feed on the same food of the parrots and bring the parrots to bad consequences. Raising awareness in schools, and not only in schools, in order to avoid to have them as pets is something that we are basically doing even today with our webinar. Then, ex situ conservation such as captive breeding, artificial propagation in places such as rescue centers is essential. Prevent hunting and trained for pets. And then, last but not least, animal welfare and better regulations for mass breeding bird facilities. Okay, so now let me give a control to Lorenzo.
What I have to do and talk about when do parrots come from. We have to know where parrot come from, because we have to know what parrot is really when we have got one of this animal at home, and what the normal behavior of the parrot. This is another point, really good point. What does normal behaviors? When does a normal behavior start to be a pathological behavior? And what are the pathological behavior of the parrots? This is a topic in this of this part. Where we start? We start for Psittacosaurus. 100 million years ago, the earliest fossil that we have of Psittacosaurus. We start to the evolution to this kind of animal. Then the latest fossil of parrot really is Archaeopsittacus beroxi, that he lower Miocene period, about 20 million years ago. And this is the really the first that could have an appearances of what we know about parrots nowadays. Later, when we have got this animal for first with human, with the contact with human, really with Egyptian, we can find a first Egyptian credited for being the first keeping birds, pigeons really, but we have got also parrots for the feather, the color of the feather, for the sing of this animal. And this could be a really fashionable animal that people, rich people, wanted to be at home. Romans later has got this animal, like in the picture, they're represented in the picture, like a ring at home, the doorbells, because that will announce visitors, and it's really curious because these animals are more than a doorbell. but this is the first contact that we have with them. Later, in 19, we can pass Mario. Later, and unfortunately, this fashion invaded the United States, Europe, and other country, because rich people that could have more money would like have an exotic pet at home, not also dogs and cats or a cow, and this is the cause that most of these animals doesn't exist in a lot of country, and they have to capture them in the wild, and the result of this is that this animal is a fashion animal, really beautiful animal with a feather, with a singing, and famous people have got one of this and have got a picture with them, and like this is the Beatles, and what else have got this animal with them, but this common behavior of this animal could be a problem for the rest of common people that have got parrots. Famous people could case really the start of this passion for this pet at home. And what occurs when we have got one of this animal? It starts with the capture of parrots in the wild, and so we wrapped them from the jungle in different form and different kind of nets, traps, killing the parents or destroying forest for reaching the nest with the chicks, and then we start to export them in the country. What we have to know about this animal, that they start to breeding at home with the new location, but they still are with their mind in the jungle, and so capture one of these animals is from the wild always will be a bad decision. Why? Because they have a normal behavior that we express with his flock, his company of the parrots. For example, grooming him one with other. They clean himself. They have a couple of for breeding, and this kind of behavior that this animal captures, the consequence is a really not desired pet, because he's biting, is screaming, is flying away, is rasping, and they are very could be very noise with his voice. During this process, we have to always keep in mind that this animal are the son of the first parrot, couple of parrots that could breed in captivity, and this is still is a really wild animal, because when we are with a parrot, we have to think how he will do this in the nature, in the wild, in the forest, in his habitat. And this is really the reason of every kind of problem with the behavior. Okay. During this product, this process, we have to consider that they can become destructive or turn to self-mutilation, because they are really intelligent animal. They could compare a parrot with a 5 years old child, or really is a small person. When we have one of these animals, we have a small person in front of us, and they need respect. They are not a thing, they are not a plant, and they have a character, they have a personality, they have a sense of the fear, and they are alive, completely alive. And this is where every problem becomes from. They have to socialize first. How parrot is. He has to receive attention first with his partner or with his flock. When I speak about flock, I mean the parrots who lives in a great number of parrots at the same time. And they receive attention, they give attention, they have grooming himself, and have to socialize, playing with each other, playing with himself, have to do exercise, exploring his surrounding. And this what parrots do, and every time and every day. How to know when parrot is okay, healthy? You have to explore it. What I have to do, a veterinarian have to do, if during the visit, is the first, don't touch the animal. The first, you have to present to the animal, and you have to look about him, how his size is, how he look about you, if he interact with you, or is moving with good coordination or not, or he has another problem with his feather and the color, and this is an exploration, the first exploration. The second exploration is behavior. This is every kind of normal behavior that a parrot could do. It could be. It could be aggressive. It's not a problem. Aggressivity is a normal behavior that everybody have, and parrot too. It's not a problem that parrot could be aggressive. The problem is when the aggressivity could be the normal standard of the behavior of the animal. And so we have to recognize when is normal or not. If you read every kind of behavior that parrot could be, is giving attention, eating, something like easy, like a wing lifting or wing flipping, vocalization, tongue winging, bathing, noising, and sleeping, and every kind of this, like a dog, like us. Every kind of this behavior could be a part of behavior of the character of the animal. As these are normal behavior kind of form that we can find. Now, there is a really, as Mario says, there are a lot of species of parrots, and so I have write down here only a few species, the most common species that we have. And in this picture, I've got a sign of what a species can do and how level have got about this. It's like when we want a dog, a race of dog. I mean, there is a dog could be sleepy, a dog could be run every day. This is the same. This is the same with parrots. If we want to have one of them at home, we have to check about his personality, his form, and I mean, if you have lovebirds, activity level, height. A lovebird is every time looking for something different that we have now, and is exploring, is cheering, is it's a really good pet. But if you haven't got time to stay with one of them, we have a real problem, because they need attention. They need complete attention by the owner. The owner have to stay, have to have a partner of life of this animal. African grey parrot, Psittacus eritacus eritacus, for example, it's an animal that biting potential, and so if we have fear of biting, could be a problem. If we don't have a good approach to this animal, it could be afraid of us and then biting us. Their eye talking potential, for example, could be stay on the shoulder. Could be if you internalize this animal. If you could try to do this, you have to exercise this behavior, and the parrot have to accept possibility, accept this form, and so on. You can take this picture and study every species with every behavior. If you live in a silent place and you don't want a high noise level, you can choose a macaw. I mean, this is basically when you have to study a behavior of one of these animal. Okay. When a normal behavior could transform in a pathologic behavior, we have to recognize the problems in parrots and the case, what the cause of this change, because the most times that we have a problem is to lead to a stress case. When we have stress, every normal behavior could be pathological behavior, could be transformed the animal in a good pet, in a horrible pet from the owner, because the parrot are suffering now a stress caused to different cases. Okay, and so like we need the most common cause of change in stress and behavior. For example, need a partner. These are animals that could live 80 years or 50 like a macaw, or 80 like a gray parrot, or 20 like a lovebird. And so they need a partner to breed, to have a couple. And so when in some cases, when we have got only one of them, of these animals, they usually need find a partner. And if it doesn't find, we could have a problem with them. Okay, and they choose objects like little balls or teddies or toys that we give it in the cage, and they choose them for as a partner or as a chick. Or the same owner could be a partner. And in most cases, we have problem of dystocia, the producing of two eggs, because we have got a female that choose the owner like is a partner, and so it's a problem because she doesn't intend that could be a different species. Other cause of stress is feather picking, and when we suffering, they could be destroyed with the cage, with the ambient things, or with self-mutilation with insult. And so they have to show how they feel really, and we have to stop them to give this behavior, to have this behavior, because it's really destroying the feeder. They take the feeder, pick up the feeder, and still intend to take off the feeder during the time, all the day, during all the day. And so this is a kind of problem. We have to stop them. Other parrots are very bored in the cage, and the only thing that they can do is eating. So they oversize himself with the only thing that they have is food, and they start eating food and then repeat all the day. So we have got, in most cases, in a case of obesity and cardiac problem in this animal, because this is not a normal behavior. Not a normal behavior is eating, not oversize with eating all day long. Or the opposite, reducing eating is another behavior problem. When we have these animals, they destroy what they have, or try to build a nest. It's another exercise that they could have with an hormonally help with the growing. They are looking for reproducing self with a partner, and so we try to demonstrate everyone that they are ready to breed, to have a partner, and so they start building, destroying, for looking for material for the construction of the nest, and at home could be a really problem. Another kind of behavior that we can have with the stress is restlessness. I mean, an animal that really, literally, leave himself dying, because they are not. They are in a bad situation, and they think they can get out of this situation, and really they stop eating, stop flying, stop vocalize, and they let himself dying, literally, or they start screaming to us to whatever, that I'm not good here. Let me get it out. Or if you try to get it out, the first is, you are my problem, I bite you. And so the aggressivity or a separation anxiety, if we have a good situation with our pet and we go out for a few days, when we come back, they can have an aggressivity because they miss us during a long day. So what we can do for reduce stress in these animals? Really, we have to study a lot, and we have to still study a lot. The advice is change toys in your bird's cage. For example, give an environment, improve, give him bathing opportunity, stay with them at home, leave a TV or radio when you are when you go out for home, and something like this. We have to think like us. I mean, I like that they give me alone at home. No, this is the same for them. And the next is patience. Thank you for your attention. This is a patient, is Bowie, that is flying with his owner, and this is an example how to maintain this kind of animal in captivity with a family that they have.
Subscribe to our channel to get more content about sustainability.